Well, I need a welfare check after round three. That was a bit of a rough round for the tipping. From dizzying heights in rounds two to painful lows, I got 3 for 8 in tipping this week. Did I back some roughies? Maybe. Did it pay off? God, no. Now, before we get into the results as well and round review, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, follow on the socials for my tips, predictions, results, and fantasy updates. Okay, now let's get the rough one out of the way to start off. So Penrith, they touched up the Broncos 34-12. While I'm always going to back my boys, Penrith was always going to be a tough task. Without some of our key players in there, they're always going to be hard. So in saying that, Penrith do look scary at the moment, and it does worry. Well, did worry me that they were going to put 50 on us. Thank God that didn't happen. But yeah, it was a little bit touch and go there for a little bit. Unfortunately, we didn't get the grand final rematch. I think we're all hoping to see as well. I think originally, if all players were fit and healthy, we're probably going to see quite a competitive, close game. But instead, Nathan just decided to do us dirty again. So that was kind of shit. In saying that, the outs certainly hurt the Broncos a lot, which was, yeah, that kind of hurt a little bit. But when Renner was ruled out, I was like, yep, that kind of sucks. Losing our captain with his kicking game, his experience, but I wasn't too worried. Jock Madden's gone in there before, done a job when he's been out. We've been, managed to get by without him last year. Then Payne Haas goes down. Start to worry a little bit. He's the best forward pretty much in the game. Enormous impact on it as well. But then, yeah, it was like not ideal. Penrith also lost Fisher Harris, so that was a massive out as well. But fuck me, when Taylor May decided to rush out and tackle Reese with his head, busted him open, taking him out about 4 minutes of the game, that was an absolute killer as well. Obviously, just because it's like Reese Walsh himself being out's pretty rough. But I think if anything, the worst thing is the structure of the team that kind of goes out the window when that happens. You had Brendan Piacora moving into centre, which they just took advantage of, and then obviously after the second half when they swapped things around, same thing, they went down the other side. So obviously with that incident, head clash, accident, things happen. In my opinion, a little bit of a sus way to tackle in that situation, but it is what it is. The only thing that I think, I guess, Dale Finucane, I think last year there was a similar situation. He ended up getting like a week or two. I feel like that's how it should have been treated. Didn't get anything at all, but it's just one of those things. So super sus as well that he was cleared for HIA after getting a fractured face. Like that's kind of cooked that the doctor let that go. Very lucky he didn't actually end up going back out there because imagine if he took another hit. That could cause some serious issues there. So I guess, yeah. And unfortunately as well, I think it took some time for them to stop the bleeding to actually do the assessments. We lost an interchange because of it. So that was a bit rough. Now, things went downhill quickly after that, similar with the Eels when they had an injury, I believe, in the centre of the wing or whatever position it was. And the second rower then ends up in centre. Penrith were just able to expose that massively. So Cobbo went into fullback, and that just threw things completely out of whack. Cleary decided to kick off from where he did last year in the grand final and just completely outplay everyone. First half, they decided to punish the left edge with Cobbo missing. Tago was a massive handful. He got over the line a couple of times there. The memes about Ezra still trying to find Cleary is hilarious though, because Cleary with that double pump dummy and just disappeared on him, did him absolutely dirty. So glad we didn't get 50 put on us, like I was saying. We managed to get some points on the board in the second half, put up a little bit of fight at least, but it was a little bit worrying there without some of those players. But like I said, I think most of that's structured. I'm still not too worried about the Broncos. Thinking most teams see what happened with Eels as well. There's not really too much you can do in that situation. They're going to be able to find a weakness there. So if anything, I'm a little bit worried about our forward depth, but I think this week as well. So bringing in Tristan Sailor into fullback, he's an absolute weapon. Has a bit of that X factor. He's going to be helpful. Originally, I did not like the idea of it, but I think Kevy needs to be on the blower with TPJ, getting him in ASAP. We need somebody that's got that physicality, bit of mungle in him to fill that spot while Payne Haas is out, and I guess as well kind of fill that void that Flegler's seems to have left as well. I think Xavier Williamson should be staying in the starting side as well. So yeah, bit of a rough one, but you get that sometimes when you're missing those key positions. So wow, they beat the Raiders 18-10. Looked a little bit touch and go there for the Warriors. Raiders coming out hot and heavy as well. So made it a very tough, close game. Their first loss of the year, obviously. Warriors probably left some points out there as well. So Xavier Savage, he had an all-time try saver, somehow managing to stop Adam Fanua Blake one-on-one just a few meters out from the line. That was super impressive. Awesome tries in this game as well. Timoko, he is a monster. The way that he just bodied old man, I think it might have been Metcalf, just threw him off him and just scored. That was awesome. The one where DWZ and Metcalf linked up for him to bust through, that was awesome. And Roger towards the end there crossing was just sheer power and will to get over the line and get it for the boys. So they did good there. So great signs moving forward for Canberra as well. I think they're going to, always be a very tough team to go up against. And they generally are, but yeah, they're looking the goods. Wires finally in the W column as well. So Roosters, they nearly ended the Rabbits' entire season with the 48-6 flogging that they put on. It was a ruthless pumping the Rabbits got. They are having some serious, serious dramas at this point, and I think if anything, you need to be putting a line through the bunnies. 3 losses on the trot, and it just doesn't look good moving forward for them at all. Sam Walker and Senden Smith look unreal in a pairs halving. Dom Young, he's a cheat code the moment you give him an inch of space. And Connor Watson, was great to see him come back. He looked great coming on as 14 in that kind of utility role. Teddy is just an absolute machine as well. He managed to snag those 2 tries towards the end there. He's just everywhere, just getting his hands in everything. The Latrell send off, though, I thought that was a bit too much if you ask me. Like, I can see where they're coming from, but there was nothing in that at all. It's not like they would have won the game regardless. As for their coach, JD, if he keeps going the way that he's going, I don't think he's going to make it past round 5 at this point. Like, I don't know why they had Damien Cook on the bench as well. I think that's an odd decision. If anything, for me, I think he's been one of the standouts for the team. So, yeah, it's just going to be head noise all round for Bunnies fans. Bulldogs flogged the Titans 32-0. I gave the Titans a chance thinking, yeah, maybe they just had a bad game in round 1. No, turns out they're just utterly terrible right now. So, good game for the Doggies, getting their first win of the season. Massive out with Tino as well. I think he ruptured his ACL, something along those lines. So, really have to feel for him. He's done for the season. I was really backing Titans as well to have a good season, but they haven't showed an inch of that so far. I don't know if Campbell and Fafita are enough as well to actually turn that around, especially without their captain as well. Tino's such the heart of that team, I think. So, honestly, I'm considering getting all the Dogs to beat the Rabbits next week too. I feel like they've showed a little bit more life than the Rabbits, and at this point, honestly, wouldn't surprise me. Was nearly having some serious head noise seeing Dragons fly out the blocks as well, getting an early lead against the Cows. But luckily, I finally got my revenge over the Dragons with them getting pumped 46-24. Sure, Dragons put on some points, but just about every single player from the Cows scored a try, honestly. Yeah, only team that's undefeated so far. They've had probably not the toughest opponent so far as well. Will they get beaten by the Broncos this Friday? High chance of that. Good to see that Val as well was whipped into shape with his kicking. This week he slotted 7 from 8, so it was a lot better than last week, obviously. He had a bit of a doozy then. Now, this next one I think surprised just about everyone. The Tigers put the Sharks to the sword 32-6. I had a few people telling me, I think on TikTok, just saying, yeah, I think this is going to happen at home. They're going to get up, get it done for their fans, for Benji, all this type of stuff. And I was like, oh, a bit of a stretch against the Sharks there. But I think the Tigers, they showed glimpses of good things the previous week, but I think it all came together for them. Api Coruscant, he's just an absolute weapon. While Olam, he got over in his debut, and Jerome Buller, he's just an absolute weapon. I love seeing him play. He's so talented, such an elite fullback. Could really help them moving forward as well, building as long as another club doesn't poach them like they like to, like they tend to do. So yeah, put a line through the Sharpies after that one. I was really hoping to pull this tip off as well for the next one. I've been backing Manly hard, but Para win 28-24. This was such a good watch as well. At the start, I thought that Manly were going to absolutely pump the Eels. They put on a few quick tries. It was looking just way too easy there, but Eels started to click and pull back the lead. They got that back together pretty quickly, actually. So Manly seemed to have really run out of gas very quickly, which was a little bit concerning. I don't know how much the previous game with the Roosters, that physical contest, really had to do with it, but either way, Blaze Talagi scoring on his debut, that was a special moment. And the balls on the bloke to just run over the top of Tom Trbojevic as well to score the try, that was pretty cool. So Manly, they had that disallowed try as well for obstruction. I wanted it to be play on for the comeback win, but that was just because of my tip. So again, Brooks, I thought he looked cool. Yeah, hurt a little bit getting this one wrong, but that's all right. So another X for the tips. Knights beat Storm 14-12. Storm nearly doing it again, getting a win in the last few minutes, but honestly, neither team looked particularly good. Storm are actually quite frustrating and painful to watch at times there. Obviously missing Hughes a lot in this game. I thought that they could have got it done with him, but yeah, no, that's all right. So Paps was still looking very good, which is exciting to watch. It's going to be a tough game for the Knights next week, I think, as well against the Wires up in Auckland. But we'll have to do a bounce back next week with the tips because this week was absolutely dismal. So how'd you go? Let me know in the comments. Catch you guys next time and have a good one.